Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. Diego Pacheco unanimously outpoints SHAWN McCALMAN. But that doesn't quite tell the whole story. I mean, the scorecards were 98, 92, 97, 93, which is what I had it, and 96, 94. And after 5 rounds, I had Pacheco up 3-2, but this was it was a close fight. And it was only the work that Pacheco did in the second half of the fight and the fact that McCalman seemed to sort of almost change tactics that kind of, I think, made it the unanimous decision that it was. Because this wasn't... I'll tell you what, McCalman came in undefeated, 15-0 with 7 KOs. And he's one crafty sod. He is a crafty fella. Very, very well schooled in the sense that, well schooled the word, because his skills aren't that refined, but he's just got a lot of nous, a lot of fistic nous. I mean, he's 30 years old, whereas Pacheco is 23. So to start with, the first round, McCalman came out so relaxed. He was barely moving, and he was kind of just reaching, but not even trying to touch Pacheco, just sticking his paw out. He's an orthodox fighter, sticking his jab out, not really jabbing, just sort of like trying to find the range. And I gave him the first round. I can't remember. I mean, I know I gave him 2 of the first 5, and they were close rounds as well. I mean, they were close rounds. You could have had, after 5 rounds, you could have had McCalman ahead, definitely. But this craftiness, he would ping a really sharp, fast lead left hook. A couple of times on one occasion, he really snapped Pacheco's head back. And you were thinking, whoa, this guy's dangerous. But he was trying to outthink rather than outwork Pacheco. He wasn't firing that many punches. Neither was Pacheco, to be honest. He was trying to contain Pacheco, almost like someone trying to defuse a bomb. And Pacheco, I mean, much taller, he's 6'3", I think, and McCalman's 6 foot, I think. Much longer reach, Pacheco. But it took Pacheco sort of half the fight to get his engine running. And it was only when he started to throw more punches, having been clocked a couple of times by individual leads and counters, that he suddenly seemed to think, hang on a minute, I'm being lulled to sleep here. I've got to get working. And then when he started to let his hands go, suddenly McCalman stopped varying his speed, stopped varying he stopped sort of bringing the fight down to a sort of slow boil and then suddenly boiling it or slowing it down and then suddenly exploding, accelerating. He stopped doing that and he started trying to sort of fight Pacheco and started to look increasingly desperate as the second half of the fight progressed. Now, that's not to say that he didn't have little pockets of success still. He did. But once Pacheco started to let his hands go and, strangely enough, start to fight him more, that seemed to knock McCalman out of his tactics, out of his game plan. And when you consider how much taller and how much rangier Pacheco is, you would think that he would want it on the outside. But in actual fact, when there was that gap between the two of them, I think it favoured McCalman really strangely. McCalman's also physically very strong, powerful guy. Pacheco, again, at 23, probably doesn't have his man strength, although he is a big guy for 168, which is what these guys are. But McCalman, apparently he's sparred a lot of the top guys, and it kind of showed because he looked like he looked like he had real. He was a sneaky little sod. Really was. He could really, again, he will beat a lot of guys. So long as he doesn't fall into that, sparring partner mentality, he'll beat a lot of guys, I think. And I fully expect Pacheco to be a much better fighter for having faced this guy. At 23, if you can actually overcome a guy who is literally outthinking you, and make adjustments in the fight, that's bodes very, very well for your future, I think, because a lot of guys would have fallen into the trap and stayed there, and McCalmon would have outpointed them. You know, the master, of course, of that sort of way of fighting was Bernard Hopkins. You know, and awful lot of people, you know, whether it was Kelly Pavlik or Antonio Tarver or any number of others, they fell into that trap, that mental trap that Hopkins set, and they just couldn't get out of it. They couldn't get out of it, and I give Pacheco a lot of credit for being able to make those adjustments mid-fight, and actually get the better of a guy who is a very clever fighter in McCalman. As for McCalman at 30, he could probably come back. You know, he'll be a gatekeeper type. Probably he'll beat a lot of guys who are decent, but probably won't be able to get over that hump to world level. But for Pacheco, again, I repeat, this will make him a better fighter. It really will. So what did you think? Did you see this fight? If you saw it and you've got anything you'd like to say, leave it in the comments section. And also, if you are new, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks to those that have already subscribed. But if you're new, hit the subscribe button and also hit the like button as well, because they count the likes. Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot. I'll catch you later. Bye for now.